Oh, Ijakishna hini karigiwe. Hochang rajra. Waning choganaga maihate rajra. Blue saints here hingaide. Egi hunchiki karachija wawaje egi. Shochaja hawawaje. Hamte e pigaja egi amichara haipi. Hamte e hoop dantara pashi dekshire. I'd like to greet each and every one of you. My name is Bluebird. My English name is Lewis or Blue St. Cyr. I'm of the Bear Clan, and I'm from Winnebago, Nebraska, the Winnebago Indian Reservation just north of here. And today we're going to be presenting the hoop dance. And this dance here is now known as the intertribal dance, and we'll kind of get into a lot of the description of where it comes from throughout the little performance that we have here today. So, our members here, we have a couple of members that wanted to join us at last minute. You can see them there, the little ones. They wanted to be part of this. We are members of the Many Moccasins dance troupe. The dance troupe has been around for going on 20 years, and we've been performing across the state of Nebraska, across the country, and even internationally. Our recent travels were to Saudi Arabia and also into Ekaterinburg, Russia. These are our last two international performances that we have done. Furthermore, we have performed into Canada for a lot of different musical awards and a lot of different credentials that the dance troupe has. The dance troupe ranges from toddler all the way up to adult, and so we have a lot of a range of dance troupe members, approximately up to about 30 members. And the name of the Many Moccasins dance troupe represents the many moccasins that different tribes have. So each tribe has unique language, unique traditions, and even unique moccasins. And so we showcase our culture through dance, and so we wear our moccasins, so we felt it was appropriate to call ourselves Many, as in M-A-N-Y, Many Moccasins. So today we're going to start off where we have a couple of our little learners here, and myself. I have been given the right and the privilege to perform the hoop dance, and we'll get into the description here after the little ones here take the stage. And within that, I've been given this dance to my niece, who's going to showcase the hoop dance there, and also my two little ones here that are also my niece and nephew as well. And so I've been teaching them the hoop dance here, and so they wanted to just to showcase a little bit about this dance here. So I'm going to be their teacher, and we're going to come out here and just showcase as a little showcase for you folks. So we have Kaylee St. Cyr, and we have Jerison St. Cyr. All right. So this summer, that's kind of due to the situation that we're in amongst the world. That's kind of one thing that we've been doing to keep busy at home is to make sure that we teach our young ones how to continue on with our traditions and teaching them because we believe that's what we're here for is to continue on to teach the next generation that's coming up, and so forth and so forth because we were taught something from our grandfathers and our grandmothers as well, and so we continue on to pass that tradition onto our young ones. So we're going to get into a hoop dance portion, and before we do that, I'd like to give a little bit of a story of where this originated from. And you see, amongst a lot of native cultures, it is part of our culture as well. We didn't really have money. We didn't have things in that way to exchange. We exchanged things as far as items. We exchanged things as far as dances go. We exchanged those amongst different tribes, and those were considered wealth. Those were valuable. Those were a story. Those were given to the people by the Creator, or maybe the spirits came and give that dance to those people for a reason, for healing, or for something from other reason. And so this dance here was one of those dances that also has been traded amongst different tribes. And what I was told is that one of the stories that we'll share here today is that it originated in the Southwest, amongst specifically the Pueblo people. And you see this dance here, it's considered a medicine dance, a healing dance. And it was only performed by the medicine men. And what would happen is that they would call upon the people in the village, similar to that what we have here. And they would call upon the medicine man and any people that may be sick or dealing with a type of illness, that they would call them forward and to have them be in center of the circle. And he would perform this dance along with many other things that he would do privately. And so this dance here, you'll see a lot of formations that the medicine man would have done. He would create what you just see here momentarily, the bird. He would create a butterfly. He would create a snake. He would create all these different things as telling a story from these hoops. And you see all these different things that are on this creation, the bird, the snakes, all of those have a type of medicine. And they're here for a reason. It's part of the circle of life and why we're all here and we're all connected. And so those things there would bring their power together and heal those sick people in the village. So as we move forth, there's a time where the young ones, similar to what you see here today, they were curious what was going on because this dance here was kind of a private dance and it's very serious. And so often the young ones weren't invited to the ceremonies. They're often left home maybe with their grandmothers or maybe some other relatives. But as years went forward, the children, they would become very interested in what's going on, very nosy, or trying to see what's going on, where everyone's going. So the children would often, as they do, they huddle together and play with each other, and they would often climb the trees and see how far they can get. Well, one day they happened to do that, and they looked down from the trees, and they can see what was going on in that ceremony, that hoop dance ceremony, and they finally figured out what everyone was going for and what was happening. So within that, the children, they came down the trees, and they kind of huddled down and they went down by the river, and they grabbed a specific tree, and they made it into a circle, and they tied it together, and they made so many stacks of hoops. And see, this hoop dancer, this medicine man, he only carried 5 hoops, but these young ones wanted to see how many they can make. And how kids are, how big they can get or how many they can make. But the medicine man was only using 5 hoops, and that was for a reason. And those 5 hoops, there's 4 of them that represented the 4 directions, represented the 4 seasons, represented a lot of things that are in 4s within the native culture. And that 5th hoop that the dancer, the the medicine man used was the creator who connected all four of those. And so everything had a meaning, and everything still has a meaning to this day. So the children, they were making these hoops down by the river, having fun, and eventually they start adding more hoops. Oh, let's see if we can get another one right here. Let's see if we can make another one. And start trying to do the same thing that medicine man's doing down by the river, all the kids. Eventually they had all these hoops on them. Well, after the ceremony happened at the village, they were wondering where all the children were at. No one had an idea where they ran to. So what happened was they went out and had a search party looking for the children. And they seen down by the river there that these children were messing with circles, with hoops. And they had a lot more hoops on them, and they were making different formations, and they were tying them together. They were doing a lot more extravagant things as more of the medicine man would have done there in the ceremony. And so they took that back, and they told them to come on and bring those hoops with them. And they took that back to the medicine man, and they kind of got after them, you should be doing that, but the medicine man told them, he said, these are our children. He said, these are the ones that are going to carry this on. They're the ones that are going to heal people. The things that they say, the things that they do. Maybe you have children and grandchildren. Some of the things that they say may heal you or touch your heart. Sometimes you may need them. And then they're there and they bring that smile to your face. So what happened is that eventually this dance was incorporated with more hoops. And so today you'll see a hoop dancer having more than 5 hoops. So today, my niece here is also going to be dancing with more than 5 hoops as well. And today, this dance has evolved to where you have women and men, young women, to perform this dance. But also, I believe that the true meaning behind this dance is still there, where it's going to create the healing. And the circle specifically, there's actually Black Elk who said that there can be no power in a square. So a circle is very sacred to our people because there's no beginning and there's no end. It is all equal. So this dance that you see here, you're going to see a lot of different formations as our young performer here is going to perform. And during this time, feel free to applaud. Feel free, if something, maybe you see something, you might see something different from your neighbor. You might see a star where someone might see a flower instead. It's your perspective, but she's also telling the story as well. So it's appropriate to applaud when you see a formation and to cheer her on, because they say that the energy that you give her, she's going to feed it right back to you. And also, they say this dance here gives good healing, because during this small time, they say that you may forget about your troubles. You may forget about your problems in the world. You may forget about maybe you're dealing with something personally. But this moment in time, this power here is going to be fed to you as you give it back as well. So, who we have here is Miss Karina Dominguez. She is of the Oglala Lakota Sioux tribe. She's also a proud mother. And so we have to hurry up and get back. No, she's a young mother. So I invited her today. She has been performing for quite some time. And I'm proud of her accomplishments and moving forth with this dance and carrying it in a good way. So we're going to sing this song live on the hand drum. And so again, here we go with the hoop dance. All right, folks, believe it or not, boy, that dance is something else because everything is moving, even your brain, everything else, because you're trying to think of what to do next, your legs, your arms, everything, boy. So trust me, I know. Now we need hula hoops for me because I can't fit through those anymore. But before we conclude, there's always, one thing that we were told, as growing up, with my mother and my father, we always, and part of the reason why we also have our dance troupe, is to go out and to help educate others about our culture. Because often, we get too busy, or often that, maybe we haven't been close or haven't experienced a good friend of another culture, or specifically maybe even the native culture. And to understand and to broaden, our experience in understanding their culture and their ways. And so that's one thing, like what we like to do is to help minimize stereotypes and help educate. And so I hope today that, what we shared here today is that you'll take it with you, and share that with maybe your friends or your neighbors, and understanding where this dance specifically came from, and so, we often, in the world, we often focus on our differences, but there's a lot of similarities that we have as human beings. Even what Chief Standing Bear did say, who has some history here in the state of Nebraska, is that when we, pierce our skin, we're both gonna, all of us are gonna bleed the same color. So, with that, is that something that we try to do is to go ahead and go forth and to teach others about our culture. But within that, there's one thing I want to leave you with, And if you can help me with that, is I need you all, if you can help, if you're able, if you can please rise, if you can please stand up. And so within that, why don't you place your hand on your heart? And so on your heart there, you know, you should feel a heartbeat. And if you don't feel one, let me know. I'll get you some help. But you should feel a heartbeat, and that's the same heartbeat that we all share in common. Again, you know, even they say the Mother Earth and how we got our drum is connected to that heartbeat, you know, of Mother Earth. So within that, on a count of 3, I would like for you to take a complete circle, a complete turn. How do you say that? A complete circle around yourself. There you go. So you spin around in one circle on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, I hope you felt that, because now you can say the many Moccasins dance troupe touched my heart and turned my life around. All right, have a good day, folks. Thank you very much.
Louis, I thank you and your adorable children and the wonderful hook dancer. Beautiful. We do have appreciation for your culture. And what an appropriate way to end Nyard Day 55 years later. Now, we thank you for being here. Do remember to fill out the humanities card. And I hope next year we can at least shake hands, maybe even hug, 1 or 2 hugs. We'll see. But thank you all. Aloha.